So, an anticlimactic series, and sometimes when you live by the long ball, you will also die by that long ball. We saw Quero hit one farther than they built the fence, and that would be the ultimate unraveling of the Chicago Cubs. It was an 8-7 Cubs lead, and then in the blink of an eye, it's a 9-8 White Sox victory. That is the final in 10 frames. Ryan Rolison over the last 5. Something tells me he's going to be going back to the drawing board immediately, if not soon. The Cubs, they lose the series in this one, and with the Brewers coming into town, time to about face pretty quick. That said, come on in. This is Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. Cole Wright, Elise Menaker, Cliff Floyd in attendance, and it was all about some of those missed opportunities, and then you can't leave things center cut. You'll have to pay.
2 for 15 with runners in scoring position, then 13 left on base. At the end of the day, you score 8 runs, a huge swing, again, from Michael Conforto that keeps this alive and gives the Cubs a chance, and they have a chance going into the 10th. Not just a chance, but they can win it. And unfortunately, then it's just, big swings from the White Sox, and they were just taking advantage.
And we come in and we see just a big swing from Quero, obviously putting a hurt on that one. But when you're in a situation like this, a runner on third, you're trying to hit the back of the baseball, hit it hard somewhere, and that's exactly what he did, Cliff.
I mean, he did his job. I mean, this White Sox team, we've been talking about the whole, last 3 games.
They'll burn you.
This is what they live by. This is who they are. This is their identity. They're a slugging-type baseball team. They live for the dramatic, and it's going to pay out. I mean, they're 2 games over 500 for a reason. They got some guys who, in that clubhouse, who can swing the bats, and their confidence is sky high right now, as it should be. But on the flip side with the Cubs, quickly, you just talk about a bullpen that just doesn't have enough velocity for me. And it's just one of those. And it's not from production, because they are trying to figure it out. There's been good and there've been bad, and I think you live with both, right? You live with the positives, and you have to deal with the negatives. The one thing for me is the swings I see. So the game plan against lesser velocity is we're going to wait back and get our A swing off. You see so many swings where it's like, oh, just missed that. And these guys. You talk about Rolison. Yeah, he's struggling a little bit right now of late, right? But, I mean, what do you expect him to do? These are moments that you will sometimes get exposed and maybe a little bit overwhelmed, because these moments come at you fast. And while you might have a small spurt of success, this is the long haul of what you're going to do. This is how you're trying to build something for an opportunity to go deep into the season, possibly the postseason. This is way too early for what we've seen from this team, based on the injuries. This is an injury-riddled type of bullpen, along with the starting rotation, as we've seen, and it's a makeshift. And they've done a tremendous job as far as holding together, piecing together. I give a hats off to Craig and Tommy Hotovy. But it is tough to be sustainable when you don't have the velocity other than Palencia to give you the quality to get these guys to at least feel off balance. To some of these swings are just too easy and too fluid, because I love hitting lesser velocity. I don't know about you when you play Elite, but if you didn't throw over 95, I was like, I'm running to the bat rack. Like, give me a shot. And so it's just about being creative, and sometimes, to get creative, you have to establish a fastball in the location, and we haven't seen that.
Elise, and as Cliff touched on, there's been a litany of injuries all season long. However, if you go back a season ago, when Phil Maton comes in the game, that was usually Brad Keller. BK, clearly not on the Cubs anymore, but he's a dude who could rush it up there 96, sometimes 98, 99 miles an hour. That velocity, when you don't have it, you certainly miss it, don't you?
Well, Brad Keller also just had a phenomenal year.
He did.
In general. He was throwing strikes. He had the velocity. This is a guy who had dealt with a lot of injuries. Now, in terms of the current situation, I also look at, like you highlighted, Ryan Rolison has struggled in his last 5 appearances now. Yeah. So he's gone 12 1/3, but, I mean, basically just on the year giving up a few long balls, and most recently a couple in these last 5 appearances. So 3 on the season, and that's in 12 1/3. So giving up home runs, not a lot of innings. Phil Maton, we heard from him on the road. He said that he doesn't have the best feel right now for that curve. So of his 18 pitches that he threw today, 2 were curves. And these are not pitches that were getting hit to me. So basically, when you don't have feel for that pitch and you're Phil, now you're trying to work through an outing and you're essentially taking that one out. But that's something that you need because you want that with the sweeper.
Yeah, if you don't have velocity and you're a guy
You
like
need
Phil
the pitches.
Maton trying
You
to
need your stuff.
operate, if you're putting things center cut right around 91, 92, Cliff, what happens to that?
I mean, you're getting blasted. But these are moments on the flip, and real quick, I mean, you're talking about first homers of the season, first homers of the career.
Those guys can't beat you.
Andrew Benintendi looking like an all-star. Look, we talked about the 2, 3, 4, and 4 hitters. Okay, that's where you grind, and if they beat you, you're like, cool. Supporting cast guys, I'm sitting here going, man, these dudes are getting way too good swings off, and I know this game is crazy. It's crazy, right? This is why I love our sport, because it's crazy, it's unpredictable. But I just look at like lesser velocity, and here goes Peters right here. I mean, this is first homer of the season.
That's terrible.
To put you up 7-4, you know, on the White Sox side, and you thinking maybe you're going to take an L here until Conforto comes up and does what he did with the 3-run homer of his own. But these are just moments where you know what's coming. And that's not a luxury you get too often at the big league level. Typically, you don't know what's coming. You're guessing what's coming. You hope to get it. But when you talk about what you said, they have this scouting report too, Elise. They know exactly what guys, you know, are doing and what they can eliminate. So if I can eliminate certain things based on the percentages you haven't thrown him, that he don't feel good with that pitch, eliminate it. That's his bread and butter. What's he doing with his bread and butter? Well, if he's not feeling good with it, he's going to something else. So, and if you do throw it, it's going to probably be a hanger. It's going to probably be a pitch that I can hit. So this is just what you look at from around the league of the cat and mouse of how we play it in our brains with our scouting reports and so on and so forth.
Yeah, if Quero and Peters, if they were in a lineup that Pedro was facing back in the day, he would have been like, these two, nope, and it stands zero chance right there. But apparently today, they did stand a chance versus the Cubs, and that's part of the reason why we're telling you all about this 9-8 White Sox win. Unfortunately, there's some moments that really slip by the wayside. We're going top 10 missed opportunities, and anytime there's a top 10 in anything, it could be really good or really bad, and at least you do not want to miss opportunities when they are ripe for the picking.
Yeah, this is a situation, though, where I thought Pete had really good base running, that if he's going to go on contact, then you don't run into the out. You give your runners a chance to advance, and that's exactly what he did. And so this is setting them up. While maybe it's not the big hit you're looking for, he does something, because then Bregman putting the ball in play, he can come through. This is how you score your run.
Absolutely. And you see Dansby, the fact that he had that baseball IQ to move up to third base. Seiya Suzuki, however, just play a little bit of pepper, Cliff. I know that's what you're looking for in that situation.
Well, you want to. With 2 outs, you still got to hit the grass or get through the infield, but you left a lot of guys on base. It's just something you just can't do consistently. The wind was swirling. I thought a couple balls were deep enough with the way the outfielders took off on their jumps, and then came running in and, you know, eliminating those run opportunities early in the game. But I mean, they had a ton of them. At least, what are they, 2 for 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 for 15 is probably going to hurt you.
You mentioned like we saw moments where the Cubs take advantage of teams because of miscues, like we saw late in this game with the White Sox where Murakami couldn't field the ball at first. So then, you know, there's things happening that the Cubs take advantage of. It's just you feel it when you see the 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position or 13 left on base, that then, you know, you want to take advantage of those moments, but they're just coming up short. Yeah. Right now. And I do think it's this sign where the offense, I've said it, you know, for a little bit now as they've been going through the injuries with the pitching staff, it feels like they can only piece that together for so long. The offense can only carry the team for so long, because I think about this hit from Conforto. I mean, your offense, they're trying to come through where they can. Did they have missed opportunities? You bet. I circled some innings early on where they could have scored more runs in this game. But I do think the give and take there, at some point it feels like this staff is just going to keep trying and be put into situations that it's just going to be hard to overcome.
Yeah, relief pitchers ERA right now 12th in all Major League Baseball. That was entering the day with a 3.69, and it went up just a little bit after today's mess. Here's Craig Counsell on the guys who come out of the bullpen.
Well, I mean, we didn't had a couple guys that didn't pitch well today, but look, it was a good game. They did a really good job. We couldn't get the third out of an inning. I think their first either 6 or 7 runs were with 2 outs. They did a nice job getting runners in, and we had, we had a big hit, but we had plenty of opportunities for more runs on the board, and we couldn't move the line forward in a positive way. So, when you give up 8 runs, or 9 runs, that's too many. We also left a lot of runs out there today. But look, it was a good baseball game. You know, you have to say that when you're on the losing end of it too. It was a good baseball game. We're just on the losing end of it today.
The defense kept you in the game a little bit throughout. Some great plays by the third baseman, your center fielder.
Yeah, we made some nice plays. Like I said, we were, pitches from getting out of an inning and really, limiting a lot of their scoring opportunities. And more often than not, it felt like we couldn't get out of that inning.
How are you seeing with Maton right now?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to kind of put our heads together and go to work because we need better for sure. We're counting on Phil, and we're going to need to pitch him in big spots, and so we need to put our heads together and help him get a little more, confidence and more execution.
It's a little consolation, but you're not wrong about Conforto.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough spot. It's a big spot, and he came out with a huge hit and pretty incredible. Done it twice in the 9th inning.
One he missed is one of those tough play, but one he probably thinks he should have had.
I mean, sure. Yeah.
I know you prefer to win these games, but it's been a while since both teams have been good, and the atmosphere kind of showed that.
Well, that's a good baseball. I don't care what the team's records are. That's just a good baseball game. That's how I see it.
Craig, what can you do to get throwback?
Well, I mean, I don't have answers right now. To be honest with you, I mean that's why you get to these places. We haven't gotten answers, so we got to work to get them.